Hello and welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. So I'm about to head on up the road and go to the post office and drop this off. So I know you're probably like, well, what is that? We can't see it. That is my little cousin Brooklyn's Flat Stanley project, all completed and ready to go back to her. But let me slow down because I know you guys are probably like, well, what is Flat Stanley? Some of you may have experienced Flat Stanley if you went to school when you were younger. I know some schools didn't do it, sadly, but my school did. So I got to experience Flat Stanley when I was in second grade, and my Flat Stanley went to my cousin Haley, who lived in Boston at the time, and it was just so cool to get that back as a kid. But let me back it up a minute. So for those of you who don't know what Flat Stanley is, I'm going to do my best to try to explain it. Usually Flat Stanley is a project done by a younger kid in school, and what the project is about is the child cuts out a little cartoon boy, so he's just a little flattened piece of paper that's a boy, and his name is Flat Stanley. So the story behind Flat Stanley is that he suffered a terrible accident which flattened him. And so now that he's flattened, he wants to see the world, and he's able to travel easier because he can easily fit into an envelope and travel across the mail. So what the project does is the child will send their Flat Stanley to a relative that lives in a different city than them. And the purpose of this is so the relative can take Flat Stanley around the city and take pictures with Flat Stanley in different locations throughout the city. And it's kind of a learning project for the kids in school, because when they get their Flat Stanley back, he comes with all these pictures of a new city that they may have never been to before, and the child gets to share their Flat Stanley project with the whole class, and the whole class gets to learn about that city. But the cool thing is let me slow down. Sorry, I'm just so excited. The cool thing is it's not just one child that gets Flat Stanley. Every child in the class does one. So when the project is complete, the whole class has several different cities to share with each other, and they all get to, kind of travel to these cities through their Flat Stanleys, and they get to learn about them. So that is pretty much what Flat Stanley is, and Brooklyn chose me to do hers, and I had such a fun time doing it. I do have a major regret that I didn't vlog the process of me doing Flat Stanley, because when I got it in the mail last week, it was just like a hectic week, and I knew Flat Stanley was coming, but it was just like a hectic week, and I was like, I'm just going to do the project, and then I'll have like the pictures and everything, but I'm not going to vlog it. Well, now I wish that I would have vlogged it, so may this be a lesson to always vlog your memories, always document stuff, because in the end you will only regret not documenting your stuff. So anyways, yeah, I got Flat Stanley in the mail last week, and then so because I live in Georgia and she's over in North Carolina, when I get the mail, it has to come through the Atlanta distribution center before it comes to me, even though I'm just right there. I'm closer than Atlanta is to her, but it has to go through the Atlanta distribution center, and because it has to go through them, and their distribution center has been a little bit slower the past few months, I'm not sure why, but I didn't get her Flat Stanley until it was about a week and a half or maybe 2 weeks after she mailed it off. And so by the time I got it last Wednesday, some of her other classmates had already started sharing theirs, and I hadn't even got a chance to do mine yet, much less send it back. So when I got it last week, I was kind of like, okay, I'm going to have to hurry and get this done. We ain't got time to vlog this experience, and then I had other stuff going on too. But yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that, but Oh, okay. Anyway, so where I was going with that was that I was trying to hurry up and get the project done, and I ended up doing it this Monday, so 3 days ago. Today's Thursday. I ended up doing it Monday, and then Tuesday I wasn't able to work on it anymore, and then Wednesday, which was yesterday, I I was having some major problems with the printer in the office in there. It was not having it at all because I wanted to print out the Flat Stanley pictures on some nice photo paper, and it was going crazy. It took me 2 hours to print out 29 pictures. So I'm finally getting this back to her in the mail, and I'm hoping if I take it, instead of sending it off in Georgia, I'm going to drive up to North Carolina and put it in the post office there, so that it won't have to go through Atlanta Distribution Center, and she can hopefully get it a lot faster so that she doesn't feel left out, because most of her classmates have already shared theirs. I hate that. But yeah, I just don't want her to feel left out, so I gotta hurry up and get it to the post office. So I haven't got to vlog this experience yet, but I'm going to take it to the post office now, and then I will come back after, and I'm going to share the project with you all. So without further ado, here it is. Okay, so, me again. I realized when I got home that I forgot to show you guys what she sent me first. So, let me do that before I show you guys the finished project, what I sent her back. So, I got this envelope in the mail from her. I'm not going to show you guys the other side because of addresses, and she sent me this letter that I'm going to read to you guys. I would show you guys, but it has email addresses and addresses, stuff that, y'all don't really need to know. So, the letter says, "Dear Brendalyn Welch," and the Brendalyn Welch part is wrote in her handwriting, which is so cute. It says, "Hello, in school I read a book about a boy named Stanley who became flattened by a falling bulletin board. In his book, Stanley wanted to go on a trip. Since he was now flattened, his family simply folded him up, placed him in an envelope, and mailed him off to his friend in California. I am now sending you my Flat Stanley, in parentheses, Flat Brooklyn," she wrote, "to you. Please take him with you around your city and then write a quick sentence or two about his day. If able, I would love it if you could draw a picture or include a paragraph. If it's easier, you may email your pictures to my teacher. I will be sharing all about my Flat Brooklyn's trip with my class once he returns home. Thank you for helping me with this fun and exciting project. Love, Brooklyn." That is so sweet. And then there's actually another letter here that says, "Thank you for helping me with this fun class project. My class is patiently waiting for the return of our very own Flat Stanley. Once they arrive, we plan to map out all the places they went around the world. Please return to my school as soon as you can." So, yeah, that's what I got in the mail. And then, obviously, I got Flat Stanley, or in this case, Flat Brooklyn. I got her, but I had to send her back. But I did keep the letters. But, yep, so that's what she sent me. Wish I could show you guys. But, anyways, so now I will show you guys what I sent her. "Dear Brooklyn, thank you for sending your Flat Brooklyn to me. We had a blast today exploring the northeast Georgia mountains of Rabun County. Let me tell you what all we did. First, we had to buckle up for our road trip. Safety first. Starting out at the north end of the county, our first stop was to visit your Aunt Jessica at the family business in Dillard, Georgia. Here, she manages the construction office, talks to customers, and helps keep things in order. She was very happy to see your flattened self. Our second stop was to the Dillard House in Dillard, Georgia. The Dillard House is a very popular spot in Rabun County. It is a beautiful and delicious home-styled restaurant owned and operated by the Dillard family since 1917. The Dillard House property contains over 106 acres of land where they have an inn and cottages, a petting zoo, and a horse stable for river and mountain horseback tours and private lessons. We didn't go into the restaurant or the inn, but we did go to the petting zoo where we saw a bull and 2 goats. We went over to the horse stable too, but we didn't see any horses. We got there too late in the evening and they had already gone into their private field for the night. Our third stop was all the way to the south end of the county to Tallulah Gorge State Park. The Tallulah Gorge is probably one of the most well-known places in Rabun County, and people travel near and far to see it. The park contains several overlooks to see the river canyon below, and it contains over 1,000 stairs, which will lead you down into the canyon, or you can walk across a bridge over the river and see a waterfall. We did not do the stairs today as it can be exhausting and time-consuming, and I didn't want Flat Brooklyn sweating. She would have fell apart. Our fourth stop was to the lake at Black Rock Mountain State Park. As a photographer, this is one of my favorite places to photograph and to bring my clients to because there is just so much to see here. This lake is surrounded by an easy 0.87 mile hiking trail and has several other optional trails attached that will take you to waterfalls, mountain lookouts, and camping spots. Here we saw the lake, some faraway ducks and geese, a bunch of pretty wildflowers, and a few squirrels who were too quick to have their picture taken. Our fourth stop, we pulled over to see some cows. Besides forest land, housing, and mountains, Rabun County has a bunch of agricultural land too, which is used for all kinds of crops, like strawberries, tomatoes, cabbage, soybeans, and corn. Besides crops, farmers also keep a lot of cows, goats, horses, and other farm animals here. These cows didn't want to be petted today, but they were cool to see. Our sixth and final stop today was in the middle of the county on Main Street, Clayton. This is another popular place here among locals and tourists for dining and shopping for local art, clothes, and more. We visited some friends on the rooftop part of the restaurant at Friends American Grill and had a delicious dinner together of their Cajun chicken pasta. I enjoyed showing Flat Brooklyn around my hometown today, and from the smile on her face, I know she enjoyed it too, even though she didn't say much. With love, Brendalyn.